Good Saturday morning, YouTube pipe community. You can see Dunhill there in the corner of the background standing there. I just wanted to get on here real fast and I don't know where the fuck I'm at. Good Saturday morning, YouTube pipe community. Just doing a quick little video down here in the man cave. This was actually supposed to be last night, Friday. I wanted to thank Greg Tunnel Take, Team Freedom. Look at it! Awesome. Sent a bunch of them out to people. Really cool. So, of course, I had to show my red, white, and blue as well. Speaking of that, Freedom and Team Freedom, I have gotten some requests and comments over the years about, do you not have guns? Do you not shoot guns? Do you go hunting? Blah, blah, blah. Hell yes. I live in West Virginia, for God's sake. I'm a hillbilly. What do you think? West Virginia, in my opinion, is like one of the freest states in our country. I mean, some of these guns I'm going to show you real fast, I can walk down the street and carry my gun, my pistol. I don't even have to have a permit. Not here. I can ride my four-wheeler side by side down the road. I mean, pretty much, you know, there is a lot of freedom here. Like I said, I don't talk about them very much and show them very often because I don't want to get a chance of the channel getting flagged or anything, but I'm going to show you real fast. I just grabbed a few and brought them out here. This one is a Smith & Wesson. Look at it. Semi-automatic. Comes with 2 clips. 22. So I'm just going to show you really fast. If I didn't already say, I'm smoking penny farthing, what's left of that tin. And I'm anxious to get outside because that's where I left my coffee thermos. Some other pistols that I have. Look at it. This, of course, is loaded. And a quick story. 357. I keep this one beside my bed at all times. And I hope I never have to use it, but I certainly would if I had to. And this one, I keep in my truck at all times. You say they looked alike? Yes, they are alike. They're exactly alike. They're the same gun, or same pistol. 357 revolver. I currently just unloaded this when I was cleaning it the other day. The reason why I like revolvers better, I have a 9mm as well, but, and this is just my opinion, especially with the wife as well. I like the fact that I can open that up and see that it's definitely unloaded. As where a clip, like my 9mm, you know, you always have to worry about, I mean, it probably won't, but if it jams, something sticks, gets stuck. And with my wife, the way I look at it, if I can't hit somebody that's coming through my house, breaking in my house on 5 or 6 shots, I'm dead anyway. So I just like the convenience of the revolver. I feel safer with it. My wife feels safer with it, knowing exactly, you know, what you have in the chamber at all times. This one here is a Ruger 22 semi-automatic. So I'm just going to go through these really fast. I have about probably 7, 8 old shotguns. Most of them are 12 gauges. This one is a very old bolt action shotgun. None of them are loaded. This is another very old 12 gauge shotgun, bolt action with the clip. You don't see very many of them anymore. Like I said, I just brought a few out to show you because I didn't want to carry everything out. This one was my grandfather's old 12 gauge that my dad gave me, and yeah, you can see it's beat to hell. But that's something, you know, obviously you're going to cherish for life and I'll never get rid of. I've used this many times. And the last one I brought out was this one. I have hunting rifles, 30-30s, 270s. I mean, come on. I live in West Virginia, for God's sake. I always struggle to get this one open. The case isn't the greatest. Mossberg 12 gauge. Look at it! I also have, of course, the separate barrels for that as well. That's just a couple I wanted to show y'all. We're going to continue this out in the shop, and I got a lot to talk about. Boy, did I stir up a hornet's nest this past week. I didn't show it on the video, but as you can see right there behind me up on the wall is my rabbit air. Thing works excellent. I sit right here at the bar. Sucks the smoke right up. After an hour or so, you can't even smell it down here. Some people have been asking about my bar collection. Let me show you really fast. I really showed much because I haven't really gotten much more since the holidays. I don't usually collect all year round too much. I'll show you real fast. Them two right there in the front I just picked up not too long ago. About 120 proof, almost 4-year old Scout. This was a West Virginia store pick. I picked that up as well. These are just some that I have really fast that I'll show you. If you didn't already catch it before, these two large shelves here were once the other half of the bar I chopped in half. Dunhill. Hey, buddy. Hi. I do have some scotches, mostly all bourbons. These two right here, these Jack Daniel's single barrels, were excellent picks. Really glad I got them as well. Of course, it's not bourbon season now, but I don't collect as much all year round. I get into it more, of course, during the season, but and I have some miscellaneous stuff over here on this side. This video is going to be long enough. Yeah, we got some snow last night. We got about 3-4 inches maybe. Everybody always says, yeah, it's real pretty to look at. I mean, I agree, it is, but I'm ready for spring. I'm ready to get the boat out. At least I'm off. I'm off until Tuesday now with a holiday on Monday. And we're back, YouTube Pipe community. Unfortunately, I apologize for those of you who don't like long videos, because this is definitely going to be a long one. I think I'm already at 5 or 6 minutes showing off a few guns. Again, thanks Greg, Tunnel Take, really cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might actually hang this up in my bar area down there somewhere. I set the penny farthing aside for now. I'll smoke that later on, because today's main event is going to be the LJ Peretti 150th I showed you last week. I have 5 jars of these. I showed it last week. If you didn't catch it, I'm not going to open it back up and show it, but appears to be plume, mold, whatever you want to call it, all over the flakes. If you didn't see it, check that video out from last week. In fact, this is what this is, LJ Peretti 150th. Look at it. It's very dry now, and it's still rather hard to smoke and keep lit because the flake is cut so thick, if you know what I'm talking about, if you have it. It come out a few years ago. It was special aged Virginia with some port wine, I believe. And when I first got it, I was really disappointed because it was really bitey and tart and burnt my tongue. I mean, bad, fried my tongue. I almost threw it away back then, and I set it aside in jars, and it's been sitting there ever since. And when I was just going through my cellar there a couple weeks ago, I stumbled across all of them, and I opened them up, and boom, there you go. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. First off, you're never going to end this debate. Plume versus mold. Some say cigars and pipe tobacco that has a very fine powder throughout the flake or on a cigar you can just brush right off, and it appears to be crystallized and looks like sugar. They say automatically that's plume. On the other hand, people will tell you the fuzzy stuff, the stuff you can smell, the stuff that grows upward, the stuff that grows inside the foot of a cigar, of course they say that's mold. And for years, I thought that, this is just strictly my opinion. Like I said, I'm not right or wrong. You take it for what it's worth. This is my opinion. I've done some research. I've talked to a lot of people in the industries, and I was wrong. At least in my opinion, I was wrong. I had thought there was a difference between plume and mold myself. Like I just said, I thought the plume was the, and I got so much to talk about, it's like trying to come out of my head. I was talking to 2 chemists, husband and wife, on Reddit the other night, and they had told me the complete opposite of what happens with a cigar. As you know, if you follow me for years, you've seen I've lost a lot of cigars over the years with mold. And I know for a fact that it was mold, it wasn't plume. But anyway, I had asked them, we was talking about how a fine cigar ages perfectly, and you'll get that fine crystallized looking sugar powder on the cigar, just on the wrapper on the outside. And isn't that the crystallized oil is coming up through, showing you a nice perfectly aged cigar? And they said absolutely no. They said actually what happens with that cigar is it's drying over time in that humidor completely out. The oils are drying out, not up through. They're drying out and drying up, and that it's not oils coming through, that it's mold. And I said, I don't get it. What? And they like, there's thousands of different kinds of mold. I think there's probably millions actually. But anyway, they had said no. They said basically the best we can explain it to you is there's bad mold and there's mold that's okay that won't hurt you mold. Basically though, that it's all mold. Take it for what you believe. Now, with the LJ Peretti last week, I not only talked about it on YouTube, but I posted some pictures on Instagram as well. And holy cow, I didn't bash LJ Peretti at all. I love LJ Peretti. I love London Flake and Park Square are 2 of my all-time favorites ever. But anyway, everybody that's seen the video or the pictures, boy, they took it and ran. Everybody that had it went and checked their stash. Most reported the same thing, that they had it on theirs as well. A lot of them threw their tobacco away. A lot of them are still on the fence waiting for me to smoke this and see what I say about it. But in fact, to be completely 100% sure, I don't know. And nobody can prove there is a such thing as plume, but they can prove mold. If you look at the Friends of Habano webpage over the years, they've done studies, scientific studies in a lab. In fact, I think they're still doing it. They did up to, I believe the last count was 55 different cigars. They had actually like a type of contest where people that thought they had plume on a cigar, not mold growing through the foot, but on the wrapper, like I said, looking like sugarized crystals, sparkly sugar, send it to them. They sent it to this lab, and every one of them tests came back mold. Not one was considered plume. It was some type of mold. So that's my take on it. With me, what I do is, especially with cigars, you know how much they cost. If I get a cigar that has mold in the foot through the tobacco, I pitch it, I toss it, I throw it away. If it's lightly on the wrapper, like I said, looking like powdery sugar crystallized, I wipe it off, put it back, I smoke it. So, I don't know, you do you. If you think it's safe, smoke it. If you don't, throw it away. But getting back to this, let's talk about this a little bit. I got so much to talk about today. I said, if you don't keep at it, it's rather hard to keep lit being so thick as it is. And I didn't break it up really well. I definitely wanted to smoke it in my cob. A couple of things I'm pleased to say. It doesn't bite now. There's no bad aftertaste. Nice on the retrohale. Tangy, tart, sweet. It has no smell out of the jar. You're not going to see that, but it's really white ash. Age has done this some time, some good favor. I can still feel, if you're gonna puff too fast, that I can still feel a little bit of a bite coming on, but nothing like it was. Another note I remember from this when I smoked this years ago was almost like a Coca-Cola. And I still pick that up as well. It's like a mild Coca-Cola taste. Would I buy it again? Yes. I mean, I'm not going to, obviously, because I have so much of it, but it didn't scare me away from smoking it. I didn't try to brush nothing off because you couldn't really brush it off. Whether it's plume or mold, I don't care. If there even is such a thing, I'm smoking it, and it tastes damn good. Like I said, no bad smell. If you really want to see what mold looks like, go back through some of my older videos labeled probably cigar loss with mold or something like that. And then I had the GLP's triple play I've done years ago. I made 2 GLP's triple play. One in the title has mold in it. Go back and look at that video. You'll see mold. And you'll see an explosion when I opened up the tin, how loud it was. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. Just type in GLP's triple play and look at the one with mold on it. I made like 2 of them, I believe. One was with mold and one was a newer one. But I'm sure the debate will go on years after we're long gone. Whether there's a such thing as Plume or not, I don't know, and I really don't care. If it looks safe to me, I'm going to smoke it. Really good. Now, getting to something else really fast, I did that Emerson Forge last week, and I'm going to do another one tomorrow. Like I said, I'm off until Tuesday. I talked to, I believe his name is Jim Steffi, if I pronounce his name right. Right after I made that video, I want to thank everybody because I got a ton of comments telling me who he was and what the deal was, what he's all about. And I talked to him all week long, off and on. And long story short, I can't remember the exact details. And I was really surprised and happy that he even answered me what I wanted to know. A lot of people won't, answer personal questions when it comes to things. But my main thing was nothing bad against it to begin with, but I just wanted to know, did he make tobacco blends with stuff that's already existing in bulk? Or did he use like the whole leaf that you buy online and make stuff that way, chop it up yourself? And the answer was, he answered me in a big long paragraph, he does both. I believe he has, I can't remember offhand, just say like 55 different varieties, and like 48 of them are whole leaf tobacco that he purchases and cuts up himself. And the rest is bulk that he can't, always get online through the whole leaf process. So that's awesome. Long story short, he has about, probably 50 blends, maybe more than that now, already out. He doesn't have a website currently, but he's on Instagram, and I believe he's probably on Facebook as well, and he's on here also. And they even have a podcast. But he said he really likes making blends as well for customers. So, you know me, I put 2 in. He made me 2 blends already. It's in the works. He even asked me what I wanted them to be called, and I couldn't think of nothing. So I just said beans number 1, beans number 2, for now anyway. The first one he made for me is going to be a vapor, of course. And I asked him to make it just strictly Virginia and Perique and heavy on the Perique. And he has that one, I guess, in the works, ready to be sent to me. And the second one I wanted was a Virginia, Kentucky, heavy on the Kentucky straight, just Virginia, Kentucky, nothing else. And he came back the other day and asked me, in his opinion, he wanted to add something with the Kentucky. And we agreed on rye, bourbon rye. He's going to put a rye in the Kentucky. So I can't wait to get those. He's going to send them sometime, I think, next week. And he doesn't even want to charge me yet until I try them. I guess he wants to like tweak them or make sure I'm happy. I said, hey, I'll just pay you now. I don't care about that. He just wants to send me the samples first, and we're going to go from there. So that's awesome. Told you I had a lot to go through here today. Also, I wanted to mention my friend's cigar lounge here where I live locally, living my best cigar life in Moundsville, West Virginia here. The owner's name is Tyler. And he's been branching out with tobacco, pipe tobacco related stuff for a while now. He has Zippos. He has decent selection of tins now. He got some Cornell and Deal stuff. I mean, he has Peterson stuff, all kinds of things he's getting in. And he had posted the other day that he can also get you pipes now, certain pipe makers. So if you want like a Savinelli or a special Peterson, I can't remember all the ones that he can get, but I'll leave his contact info with you. He doesn't have the website up and running still yet because he's waiting on some laws to come through in the state here. But through phone, he can get you taken care of if there's a tobacco you might be looking for. Not a unicorn like a McClellan, but if there's something you're looking for that's not you know, too hard to get, but it's out of stock somewhere. He may be able to get that for you, so give him a call. And like I said, if you were looking for a special pipe, he can maybe order that for you and get that for you as well. I'll leave his number in a picture as well. That's going to be it for today. I'm going to do another Emerson Forge tomorrow. I didn't look back and see what I gave the rating on this years ago. But if I had to guess now, I would say at least 5.5 to 6 now. It's definitely done better with some age. Yeah, it's tart, tangy. Lots of thick smoke. I'm not afraid to smoke it. It was funny how just one guy showed some pictures and everybody freaked out and went looking through their stash and everybody's like, oh my God, mine's the same. Once I had seen it through all my jars, the same looking, I was like, okay, I could see if mold got in like one jar maybe or something like that. But when I opened it up and seen all the jars looked exactly the same, I kind of started to figure that's something that was unavoidable. Like I said, whether it's plume or mold, I don't care. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, I think I forgot to mention, I had so many things to talk about, and I don't rehearse anything. I don't write anything down. I just try to remember everything in my head. A friend of mine on Instagram, as I was saying about LJ Peretti this past week, it got back to them about the 150th having the plume / mold, whatever it is, on the tobacco. And he contacted LJ Peretti and they sent him a response. And basically, I read it. Basically, he showed me what it said was that the 150th is made with specially aged Virginias, that it is plume, enjoy it, it's delicious, is what their response was. So, like I said, the battle of whether plume versus mold will continue for years. But if you look, like I said, at all the online, basically, cigar shops, they all, in fact, say also that there's a such thing as plume and mold. So take it for what it's worth.